Hare Krishna, dear viewers. So, as you know, my name is Madhuri Devidasi, but you may also know me on Katusha01, the author of Identity Quest, Deus Ex Machina, The Karuna Virus, Dark Facet to a Golden Heart, and Recovering Pro. Well, I have like 10 different stories if you're willing to go look through all of them. The latest one being I'm Not Zero, which is my most boring retelling of Mega Man Zero ever. Yes, if I want to be boring, I can be extremely boring, but that's not why you're here. You're here to either troll me, either because you're bored or because you have a genuine interest of what I'm reading. So I'm sure you're expecting Identity Quest, but as you're seeing in um, the title, this will unfortunately be cancelled because, quite frankly, I'm not happy with the product I've given you. I'm being too preachy, and you're here to hear a story. Of course, if you have questions, please ask them to me without being obviously trollish. Because yes, I am indeed an ogre, and an ogre's natural prey are trolls. And while you say, "Oh, well, you're a vegetarian because you're Hare Krishna," yeah, well, Garuda's also vegetarian, and he eats fish and snakes. You know, it's not a sin if you're supposed to eat that. And no, we're not supposed to eat meat, guys. Just look at your teeth. We're prey, not we are prey animal, not predators. Now, next time you want to eat a steak, try to kill a cow with what nature gave you. Basically just your nail, and then tell me about it. Okay. So, I would like to read you the Karuna Virus. I will do my best not to preach this time, just to read. So, the coronavirus. Zero had amnesia. Once again, this is a story that we've heard often. Heroes wake up, doesn't remember anything. Now, what is fun with amnesia is what is hidden behind this. Who was that person before? What did that person do? Who was that person? So, there. We may expect, oh, it's Zero from Mega Man X, but what if it was different? Now, come with me as we will discover a different Zero. Also, big shout out to Right Dylan21, my most assiduous reader who almost every time I post a chapter, he or she will write me a PM thanking me for it. Well, my friend, thank you for your support. You are a huge source of inspiration. Thank you so much. So here's the blurb. So yes, the reason why I wrote this is 2 years ago, I received this black and red sari. It was black, red, white, and yellow. And me being the geek I am, I'm like, oh my god, you gave me Zero sari. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute, but Zero's a guy. And, well, this happened. Zero didn't know what to think. Also, I apologize for the grammar, the typos, and whatever mistake you will see, since this was the time when I was writing on this small nano computer because my old computer got stolen. So obviously we're Hare Krishna Temple, people give us donations, so I managed to find one computer. Lovely little Acer, could carry it in my pocket, almost a bit bigger than my small 8-inch tablet. Yeah, it was slow though, like Windows 7, slow, um, cannot use Grammarly, so I had to use something else. So there will be mistakes, plenty of them. Zero didn't know what to think. He had been awoken, revived really, by this girl, her name Ciel. He had then pres- they had then He had then proceeded to escort the human girl through the gauntlet of red-eyed mechanoids. It's mechalinoids, but those are Pantheon, but Zero didn't know that back then. Somehow, those blue drones reminded him of someone whom his heart ached for, but who was he? Also, this is a X slash zero. Yes, because those two, my supreme OTP, actually all of our supreme OTP is Radha Krishna. But below Radha Krishna, well, there's Shiva and Parvati. Now, I swear, those two are just sweet. And below those two, well, there's X and Zero. Because quite frankly, if you want to know what love really is, just go on Archives Our Own and just read the highest rated X and Zero fanfiction. You will find many of those in which, okay, being someone who read a lot about love, not lust, I can tell you that yes, those writers are onto something. Anyway, actually, this was a question the red android could not even answer for himself. You are Zero, the girl has assured, with a bright smile and a conviction Zero did not feel. For a simple reason. He couldn't remember his past, not even his identity. In a way, he really was Zero, a cipher. He could be whatever he wanted, in theory. It seems that he was a warrior. His body instinctively knew how to fight. He knew how to destroy and kill. But it didn't feel like him. Not completely. Something seemed to be missing. Something other than the energy saber he had found. There was something about his body, how he saw himself. With this doubt in mind, the Red Rebel had found a place where no one would disturb him. A water-damaged utility room filled with mice and a fat rat, cobweb and broken down pieces of machinery, one of which had a very shiny surface. In front of the makeshift mirror, Zero began to inspect the body he was in, not feeling any type of familiarity with it. He had removed his helmet, gauntlets, jacket, and boots, leaving him as naked as a Reploid could be. No, the jarringly white codpiece was not removable. It was a very thick piece of armor protecting the extremely vital gyroscope and otherwise vulnerable hip joints in the bottom of his nanotube. I forgot to add integrated armor, meaning if Zero wants to remove that, he literally have to cut the skin around it. Think of it like this piece of two pieces of plastic sonically fused together. It's like atomically bonded, and there's nothing short of ripping the skin off can remove it. Why did they make Zero like that? Because Zero's a warbot. The last thing he needs are more removable pieces to lose. He had long golden hair that reached to the back of his ankles. Zero would consider it a design flaw if not for the fact that they were the most effective heat sink in existence short of a liquid nitrogen system. His eyes were so blue they were almost black. A slight glow on the two white triangles under them indicating that indicate that his system were all in the green. So I'm basing Zero's appearance in the latest artwork of him in Mega Man Zero and ZX Legacy Collection, in which if you were to see Zero, well, first of all, it seems like he looks, well, they added some abs to him, and two, a pair of white triangles under his eyes. So don't expect a lot from them, since basically he thought it was just look cool. And yes, he can turn it off if he wants to. But now he just wanted to know what the hell his body was, so he turned them on. I'll pick that up, I apologize. And I'm back, sorry to keep you waiting. Speaking of size, Ciel was a bit taller than him. Actually, that's a bit of a mistake on my... No, actually not, it's not a mistake. So Ciel is 5'3". And Zero managed to extrapolate that he's 5'2", the general height of a woman. And I believe that's my height. Also, he had eyebrows. They were extremely basic, but they were there. His face was androgynous. He supposed he could call it boyish, but it really was a stretch. One thing was for sure though, he would be extremely pretty if he could muster a smile. But how could he even fake it? The situation was confusing and extremely frustrating. Who was he? Who was right? Who was wrong? Were Ciel and the Resistance as pure and white as they say? Or was X really hunting down a group of dangerous criminals? A group Zero had been helping without questions? He brought his hand to his chest, absent-mindedly running his thumb over the two green data crystal, a dual core. He had thought those were extra batteries. But after a quick system scan, Zero had realized those were some ridiculously vast data storage gems that were already filled almost to capacity. Zero stopped what he was doing and looked down. Under his red Kevlar vest, the two green orbs were unnoticeable, but now, uncovered, those looked upsettingly like a pair of green, shiny breasts. Okay, I will try to do voices, but it's just gonna be bad. I don't think my creator knew what he wanted me to be. He gave a small sneer. He was a warbot, meant to kill and destroy. A gender or even an identity was superfluous. He was not made to ponder deeply about whom he was and what was his purpose in life. He already knew what he was built for. And he hated it. No, not hated. He did like a good fight, like any other war build, but he just felt tired of it. It simply wasn't fun anymore. There must be more to life than just fighting. For fighting needed a reason, and a reason more than just the latest war and conflict. Whatever it meant, really. He gazed back at his reflection. What looked back was a complete stranger. And even then, Zero felt something was missing. Some marks adorning his forehead, abdomen, chest, neck, back, and the back of his head. Golden, U-shaped, sacred. Zero let out an angry sigh as he grabbed his helmet and jacket, putting them on with mounting frustration. He left the storage room in a huff, and then sheepishly came back. He had forgotten his boots, saber, and gauntlet. As he took the armored piece of protective footwear, Zero could not help but observe how natural it felt to be barefooted. To feel the ground beneath his feet, with its many crevices and bumps. He could also feel the earth's gentle vibration. The earth. Okay. The earth. Bhudevi. Mother Earth, Bhumi, taking the form of a cow, approached Lord Brahma with tears in her eyes. She was bereaved and was weeping just to invoke the Lord's compassion. She read to variable men, the next generation, the one she hoped she could free forever. Zero blinked slowly as he vented out as much heat as he could. Where did that come from? Was it a memory? Something he had heard or read? And why was he a she in this memory? Nevertheless, it was something from his past, something that tied him to an identity, to who he was. When he left the room, he didn't bother putting his boots on. The ground under his rudimentary feet felt good. Maybe it would jog his memory bank a bit more. And that's it. I will try to keep the video shorter this time. Thank you very much for staying with me for so long. I will see you later.